So you look at Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, The Kill Bills, Death Proof. Yeah, I'm not mad at Jackie Brown being his best movie, and
I
that's
could
not to say that the other one's bad.
I could
I'm not
alternate
mad at it.
between Inglorious Bastards and Jackie Brown 1 and 2 every day
Yeah,
because
I'm not
Christoph Waltz's performance in Inglorious Bastards is just
creepiest villain,
it's
creepiest.
beautiful. And then I also really like Melanie Laurent and Diane Kruger in that, and the bar scene with the cards
Yeah,
and Leroy, no, not Leroy Jenkins, Stiglitz, because they kind of give him the same intros, Leroy Jenkins, something
yeah,
Stiglitz. So I
basically.
mean, but it's just cool though because in this time of '95, the Tarantinoism was strong. It really was.
Yeah.
And this movie avoided it, and it was grounded. And listen, Michael Mann, he had made Thief. I mean, he was a known commodity, but he took
Mm.
Sizemore. He took Val Kilmer, who, I watched a documentary on Val Kilmer. And what I learned about Val Kilmer is that when he feels like directors creatively appreciate him, he
Mm.
will die on set for you. He will get so good with a gun that Marines use this scene to that they actually teach this. They teach him reloading a clip in this. But on other
He looks
sets,
focused.
like Mission to Mars or like one of those Mars
The
movies,
Dr. Moreau thing,
and
man.
and no one listened to him, and they just sort of
Right.
pushed it like top secret. No one, they just wanted him. He learned guitar, and they made him fake play guitar. When you
Unbelievable.
were able to, like he loved Willow, when you were able to take his input and this guy would do anything for you on a movie, but it seems like he was at his unhappiest when he wasn't listened to. That's when he became a brat. But that's
Hmm.
cool. But then you also got to know that about Kilmer. Like he hates Batman Forever because anybody could have been Batman. Like
Right.
he loves Heat. Like he loves these kind of movies. Like he I don't know. But Michael Mann was able to take Tom Sizemore, right? He fired Michael Madsen, I heard, but I can't substantiate that. But De Niro, Pacino, what Michael T.
Michael T.
Williamson, yeah,
Williamson.
yeah, Wes Studi, Ted Levine, who like wasn't Waingro, which makes me very happy because he could have
Yes,
easily have been that. Uh,
he could have been. Absolutely. He could have
he
been putting lotion on everyone's basket. Absolutely.
he takes everyone like huge names, and there's like a synthesis in this movie. I'm gonna go full Topher Grace from In Good Company, which is weird. There's like a synthesis to it, and it's not something that happens often. This is not
Yeah.
like everyone's quite unselfish. Everyone, I don't know, and I still think there's enough character to it. And you know what I also think is because of Pacino, like she got a great ass, and then Hank Azaria is gobsmacked by it. There's a
Yeah.
personality to this movie that makes it really endearing. It's not a boring crime drama. There's some personality to
Well,
this movie.
this is because, Miami Vice changed TV, man.
Oh yeah, it did.
You know, and he was one of the producers of it. Okay. And Crockett and Tubbs, you know, they could be more stereotypical than they were, but they weren't. They were
Hmm.
still kind of grounded, and they brought such swag to TV that
Hmm.
was unlike anything that you had seen before. You had all of these police procedurals on at the time. You had Heart to Heart, Magnum PI, the A Team, where somehow in 1,000 explosions no one ever dies. You know what I mean? These guys were on the greasy streets of Miami getting it done,
Hmm.
and you always felt like it was real. You always felt like it was something that probably actually happened. You know, that
Documentary
probably
crew.
actually happened. 100%. Yeah. So you bring Miami Vice into Heat, the vibe of Miami Vice, you bring it into Heat, and you move it from Miami to LA. And this is why you get this movie this movie's never going to be out of date, even with all of the retro stuff in it, the compact computers, the payphones. They're not using beepers.
Hmm.
So they're just using payphones because no tracking, no tracing. He sleeps with Edie, wakes up in the morning, leaves her water, but it's wrapped in tissue so that he doesn't leave any fingerprints
Yes,
on the
yes,
glass.
yes, yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean?
Yeah,
Those little character
yeah.
moments. Vince, you know what I'm saying? Neil is never off his he's never off his game, you know?
And you remember how mad he is when Waingro escapes?
Oh man, that came back to bite them in the ass.
Uh-huh. Big
So
time.
great, man. Chekhov's gun, except with people. They
With
didn't
Wayne
take care.
Grove.
You know what I mean? They didn't take care of Wayne Grove, and they didn't take care of Van Zant, and it all wraps up in the end. And then he has to stick to the discipline. And he gets to look Edie in the eye, and he's like, "Nope, 30 seconds,
Yeah.
bye." It was brilliant,
I mean, he sticks
brilliant.
to
It's
his code.
character-driven stuff, man. Yeah, it's character-driven stuff, man. It's not just set pieces, you know. That's
It's
why
not.
this movie is always going to be great.
That's a great. I love that you say that too, because when some action movies you think about, you're like character beats, boring, 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 action scene.
Right,
But
right.
this one, there's a lot of characters, man. There's a lot of police work.
Yeah.
But it's okay. There's a lot of You know what I love? The bet. All right, real quick before we put together something fun, we got to do this real quick. But my
Oh,
favorite moments in this movie is not the shootout, is not Pacino getting really paranoid while drinking coffee next to Amy Brenneman. It's not Hank Azaria's look when Pacino's yelling at him, but it's the heist that they're being scouted. They're on a heist. They're gonna do a robbery, but a SWAT
right,
guy bumps against the truck, and you see
right,
a completely centered shot of De Niro listening. Then you
right,
cut back to a completely centered shot of Pacino, framed in the exact same way. Go back to De
right.
Niro, go back to Pacino. That doesn't happen much in the movie, but that right there, and then the night vision of De Niro, that is, watch those two actors. Like De
Yeah,
Niro is listening. Like, listen, I know this is hard. Like, I know they're trained New York actors, but Norbert, like, someone goes, Norbert, pretend to listen. You're gonna like look
yeah.
like you're pooping. I don't know.
You're gonna try too hard. You're
Yeah,
gonna be making
exactly.
this squinting your eyes and furrowing your brow. Yeah,
Like putting your finger
yeah,
up to your
yeah.
ear,
Putting your finger to your ear. Right, right.
and then you just have Pacino looking to a camera. But the way that it's centered and with the widescreen, the way that they
Hmm.
center the characters and the way that they both are kind of the same person in this scene, like just
Right.
center, like it's beautiful. That's
It
my
is.
favorite moment. And as much as I love the gun stuff, as much as I love the classic lines that people talk about, as much as I love Ted Levine not being the bad guy, I love that shot. That's like that's my favorite moment of the movie because that's art. I think that's
It is
thought out,
beautiful.
and that's a beautiful
No.
shot right there. So that's my favorite moment. What's your favorite moment in Heat?
Oh my God. The problem is there are so many.
It's a 3 hour movie.
That's the problem. The problem is that there are so many. But my favorite moment in the movie, because it's just so random, is Tone Loc coming out of nowhere to be the guy that gives the key piece of information. Michael Chirito. I was like,
Slick.
oh, why is Tone Loc in this movie? I hadn't seen Tone Loc since Wild Day.
And Ace
Remember when that
Ventura.
song? Yeah, that song, you couldn't get away from it. And then I never heard from Tone Loc again. And suddenly he's in this incredibly high-end movie.
With a ton of
Michael
extras.
Chirito. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
tiny scene, but that club was packed with
it
people.
was.
And I love that
It
guy.
was.
Like, man, I got a substance addiction problem.
Yeah, that guy died, man.
um,
That guy died.
but even his
That guy died.
character
He had
got
a
a great
heart.
line, Norbert.
He did. He had a heart attack at age 54,
Oh,
and he was married. He was married to Dee Barnes, who Dr. Dre assaulted,
oh,
and
jeez.
he's also all over Snoop's Doggy Style. Yeah, this is W Balls. That's him.
Oh, don't you know I got a substance abuse problem? Oh man, I love that. Give me all you got.
Have some empathy, brother.
But like, it's moments like that. There's main characters, supporting characters, and then just complete day players on
Right.
this. And the day players, like Tom Noonan talking about the internet, of course. But in '95, hackers, the net.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was
Yeah.
GoldenEye. Like, the internet was everywhere in '95, but he didn't even have to
Well,
say it. He's like, it's just out there. You can get
this is it. Yeah, yeah. And you know that because it's 95, nobody's got a VPN. There's, what do you mean computer virus? So if you have your 56K dial-up modem, you really could just grab things out of the air if you know where to look for. You're on alt.fence.net or whatever,
Mhm.
or alt.bankplans.net. It's probably just like all of them there.
I love it. But yeah, that shot, that's my favorite moment of the movie right there. And yeah,
Michael
what was the song in that scene? Because I love that. I forgot to look it up. That's such a cool song during the club scene.
I believe they were playing something House of Pain, but it wasn't Jump Around.
It had oh it was you're right because it had the vibe of a they were East Coast.
Yeah, from Boston.
You know,
They're from Boston.
music like around that time the East Coast had such a different sound, like more what not aggressive, but like
It what you get it was a lot of sampling. It
yeah.
was a lot of sampling, a lot of chopping up of old jazz and bebop and funk stuff. So there was always a melody, there's a rhythm, there's a groove, and this is what happened. And I think they had DJ Muggs, who also was doing stuff for Ice Cube, I believe.
Nice.
So this is where you get that thump.
You know what's funny when I heard that I immediately went East Coast. I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it
I'm
was
glad.
it's def vibe.
I'm glad you told. All right, cool. All right, so hey, one final thing. I just thought it'd be fun. We're not gonna do like a draft this time, then that you vote on movies, films, and flicks on Facebook. But I figured it'd be fun to just put together a thieving crew. So you
Yes.
picked your favorite movie thieves. I picked my well, I didn't know if I picked my favorite movie thieves. I just put together a crew I would love to see in a movie thieving stuff.
Yeah.
So
I put together a crew that will get the job done.
all right, let's hear it. Let's
Okay.
hear it. Break it down.
Here's, here's what you need. According to Heat, you got 4 or 5 people at least. You need a wheelman. You need somebody who's the boss. You need explosives, demolitions dude. You need action junkie, and you need a tech guy. And the action junkie tech guy
Wait,
was Chirito.
okay, so you're doing how many are you gonna do?
I've got 5, but I've got 1 extra.
Okay, let's because I have 6.
Okay, so I've got
We're a
6.
huge crew, but also
Okay,
Trejo can't make it, and Trejo dies, and
yeah,
they have to go get Haysbert who dies. You know, maybe if they had Trejo, they could have lived. So
yo,
it's
it's a hard life being a wheelman. With Anna, they killed Anna. I can't feel nothing. Yeah, know how to leave anything in 30 seconds, brother. You see, that's why. That's the
hmm
discipline. That's the discipline. Okay, so the first person on my heist team from Set It Off, you got Cleo. She's the driver slash muscle because that movie was awesome. And number 2, Cleo, she will give you that work.
yeah, she
And
will.
she definitely knows how to handle that car. Latifah is a boss. You could see her now, I think, in what the Equalizer TV show. She's just handling business,
Crushing it.
crushing.
That's a good pick, man. You want her in your crew.
She's a boss.
Yeah,
She's a boss,
I
and
love it.
she's loyal, and she knows how to handle that tool, and she will get you out of a situation.
Heck
All
yeah.
right, okay. Number 2, from Cliffhanger, Eric Quaylen. We need insulin. We need insulin, you bastards. You bastards. He's the Eurotrash master planner. He knows who he needs to work with. He knows how to get in and out. The guy engineered a robbery at 30,000 feet, for God's sake. I want him to make my plan.
I want Quaylen and Cleo the series.
Can you imagine? Cleo, would you like to have a snack? Yo, I don't know what you're talking about, son. Yo, let's get this done. I agree, Cleo. You know, that's racist. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay. Number 3, from Dusk Till Dawn, Sex Machine.
Whoa.
He's got to be the explosives guy. There is no way that a man who has a gun that pops out of his crotch doesn't know how to make a shape charge.
Savini's blowing everything up.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love
There's
it.
no, there's no way. All right. And then from Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones.
He
That
steals shit all
man
the time.
all the time. Listen, I'm sorry, folks. Archaeology is stealing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're stealing. It doesn't belong to them. They just happen to find it. No. And also, he knows how to deal with traps, and he'll beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, he's a fist
Indi-
fighting legend.
Indiana Jones knows how to throw hands.
And he can
You don't,
be dragged from a car for miles and be fine.
you don't want these problems. The man survived a nuclear explosion in a fridge. Okay? I want him to help me rob a bank.
I love
All
it.
right? Okay? So, Indiana Jones, he's going to be the thief, aka the battle ninja, aka the action junkie. And then finally, Office Space. Michael Bolton, he's going to
Hmm.
be the tech dude.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
This guy actually made the virus from Superman 3, and he made it better than they did it in Superman 3, and robbed hundreds of thousands of dollars just from his terrible apartment in Texas.